Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 65 of the Midnight Poppyland story on the Story Teacher podcast. And today we have Myrna and Tina and Jen, who is here for the first time. So, hi.
Hello.
Jen, if you want to say a few words, you are welcome to. You don't have to.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Jen. I'm from Central Florida. I started reading Midnight Poppyland probably midway last year. I was one of the Lore of Olympus crossover people. I have a background in horticulture, so I love poppies, plant aesthetic, and so I enjoy that. And I also, it's kind of been fun. Feel like I've become the unofficial horticulturalist for some of the AO3 writers. So I'm like, all right.
Wait, so which stories have you advised?
So the current one with what does she call it? With Tora as the pirate. And then also it was funny. Oh, I'm sorry, is it Taco? Has the beautiful tattoo, and she couldn't remember what her flowers were on her tattoo, so I was helping her with that. So anyway, yeah, it's been funny.
It's cool to have a specialization like that. Do you, like, when you read the episodes, do you identify the plants that are in Poppy's apartment?
Yes.
That's cool. Well, I don't know if there are any plants here, but if there are, you can feel free to point them out to us.
She's got some on her desk.
Okay. Nice. Okay, well, Myrna, take it away.
Hi, Mem. I am originally from Southern California, now living in the Midwest. I am married with 3 kids, but I've always been into reading comics and stuff like that ever since I was really young. I run a YouTube channel that's kind of mostly dedicated to K-pop and stuff like that, but I actually I have done a video the K-drama edition of a manga before, and I am one of those nerds that just is an all-around addicted to everything: comics, K-pop, K-drama, manga, anime. That's where all my money goes. So yeah, that's about it, I guess.
I don't know if you want to say something or.
Hi, I'm Tina. I've been on here a couple of times already. I'm one of the admins for Midnight Poppy Seeds, which is a Facebook group. I live in New York. I've always lived in New York. I have not moved. I love reading mangas and manhwas and stuff. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm moderately obsessed with them. They do, I understand, they do take a lot of your money. I love animes as well. I like the romance genre for the mangas and the manhwas, but I also like the fantasy and the shonen jumps and stuff like that. So I tend to be really interested in a bunch of different things. That's kind of one of the reasons why I like Midnight Poppyland, because it's kind of a mix. Even though it's romance, it's a mix of so many things and stuff, and that's pretty much it.
I forgot to say that I'm married and I have a 4-year-old daughter, so I probably should add that.
That was inspired by the sight of my daughter coming in and out.
Yeah.
Yep, she just turned 10, so her birthday was last week. And then the boy is almost 9. All right, well, Myrna, you can start us off with the episode.
All right, so first we start off with a huge thump while Tora seems to be sleeping on the floor, and then all you see is little you see the little bubble with Tora going dot 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 dot, but around it you have the "ooh, my little pumpkin," and then grunt and thump 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 and and more grunts and but it seems but then all of a sudden you go to the next panel, which is this bam bam bam, and a very surprised looking Quincy, who by the way is atop today. So, and then you get both of you shut the hell up before and then bleeped out, because Tora is a poet with his curse words there. But I love Quincy's face in this. it literally killed me. Like just all the going on all of a sudden with Tora banging on the wall.
I screamed. Like, this was the funniest thing to me. This was so hilarious.
Why would Quincy call Tora over if this is what he wanted his evening to be?
Good point.
Great
Good
question.
point.
Maybe
I don't know,
just
maybe he's
like-
like a secret voyeur. Like, I don't know. Like, Quincy also seems like he kind of just doesn't, he thinks, but like he kind of just does what he wants.
That's true.
So he's probably just like, oh, it's convenient for you to be there in the morning, and I'm gonna be living my best life next door.
Honestly, by the look on Quincy's face, it seemed to me like he forgot Tora was there.
Probably.
Yeah.
I have to say, by the way, I'm so proud because I think this is the first prediction I've ever done in like webtoons that came true. Because at the end of last episode, we were like, oh my gosh, maybe somebody attacking them. And I was like, I think it's Quincy having sex. Yes, I was right.
The mysterious thump.
And also, by the way, I grew up in Brooklyn and y'all know, like, my bedroom was like, this was my parents' room, this was my room. And let's just say there were times I had to like close my ears. So yeah. And Myrna, I love how you pointed out, you're like, I think that, you know, like, oh, Quincy's the top now, because I totally, I think he so very important information for us to think about.
I think he's a switch.
From the way he was acting with Cordy, I think that man, I feel like he is different with every person. So, yeah, he took the he took the reins more with this guy than he did with Cordy. Cordy, he was more like snuggly little bear, and then you know, this one he's like, let me just take the reins on this one, which was awesome to me.
Yeah, I don't think this is like a guy he really expects more than a one night stand or a couple night stand or whatever with. I think this is just purely for pleasure.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it goes to black, and then all of a sudden you see Tora outside, and it looks like he's looking at his phone under like a red light. And then, I mean, you don't really see anything, but it almost like his other hand, he's looking at his phone with one hand, but his other hand is down by his side. So I'm assuming that he just went out to take a smoke break so he didn't have to listen to Quincy and his latest conquest. So
Actually,
yeah.
This is like later that night. So basically the time jump is a little weird, but like the sleeping thing happened the night before, right after the club. And this is happening the next day, right after he just encountered Pop.
I was really confused about this like specific section, which is why I wanted to read it, because I'm like, I have no idea what went on here. Maybe somebody can jump in and tell me, because I was a little confused. Granted, I read the episode way too late at night. So, you know.
So I ended up going back because I had like a brain fart in this scene too. I ended up going back to the previous episode, and in the previous episode when he's looking down at his phone, it's like when he gets the text from Quincy.
Okay.
And then he's saying how he has like a headache and stuff like that. So, and then like the end of that episode is Tora is in Quincy's place, like asleep. So I don't know if like he was just annoyed and he just like does what he does in the next panel because he has a headache. Because yeah, I don't know.
You have to look at the clothes.
Yeah.
So this is after the pool hall, and the text from Quincy
right.
is after
was the
party.
night before. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
That leather jacket that we cannot forget.
Mm-hmm.
He looks
So
great.
I think this was right after he got off the phone with Poppy after she ran and got in the taxi.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
That does make sense. See, this is why I'm glad that we are here discussing it, because I had no clue otherwise. So anyway, the next panel, all you see is like the bottom half of Tora's legs, and then a cone, like a traffic cone. So obviously, you know, something's coming up, because you know, you can only see so many things here, but Lily always puts, you know, things important in focus. But right after that, all you see is Tora looking like almost alarmed down, and what I'm assuming is at his phone, that he's looking at his phone alarmed. And then you see him pull his leg back, and you see a slam, and the traffic cone goes flying. And it lands behind someone with a thump. And when you get a look at them, it's what looks to be other gangsters, but they have on their heads a big rose tattoo, and one of them you can only see like the back of his neck, and it has an LR. I don't know what this other guy's tattoo. It looks like green bones on his arm. I don't know if anybody's seeing that.
Yeah.
But all of them
have roses on their heads.
Yeah, on their heads, like on the same spot on their head, like on the upper left side of their head. Like
So do you think they're like an important rival gang? Poppy's mom's gang?
Don't start with the Poppy's mom, please.
The pin, people. It looks like a rose, a red rose.
It does. It does.
I agree completely that I think it's a rival gang. I honestly think that Poppy's mom is a plot device, like me personally. Like I think that we might never even get to see Poppy's mom in Midnight Poppyland. I think it's more like a thing where like it just shows that she was abandoned multiple times, kind of like Tora.
That's a very out there theory. Very normal.
I'm waiting for someone to say that the scooter is Poppy's mom, honestly, with the way everything's going.
I think the focus and the fact that we see LR and all those roses, I think that's deliberate. I think it's going to come up.
I think LR is probably like maybe the name of whatever that gang is.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were talking about that in the Fast Pass group the other night. So, or that they thought like, can't remember. There was like a few of them. A few of them thought like maybe it was in Spanish, but these guys look pretty well. The one dude looks pretty white, so I don't know. But then again, there's a lot of really white.
I mean, in Spanish, it would be like it would be Las Rosas, like in Spanish.
Yeah. I'm Mexican. I'm actually looking pretty white in the camera right now.
I'm Puerto Rican. Hey, I'm super Mexican.
I get along with the Puerto Ricans really well. Like one of my best friends is also Puerto Rican, so you know.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because like it could be in Spanish, you know. There's actually I'm like known of a few gangs that well, back where I'm from that do like have a lot to do with like roses and stuff like that. So totally possible, but like I don't know. That's I have no idea what do you guys think the name is?
I'm like when I saw LR, like I honestly thought like the rose is in Spanish because that's what made it's the same initials, but I don't know, it could be whatever. Like
it gets funny though that you say that because like that's the first thing that came to mind too is that it's in Spanish. It's like
yeah. And not just that, but like in Spanish, like tattoos, they tend to like have like a lot of roses and like flowers. And stuff and
that's actually my maiden name actually is
it Rosa?
It's actually Del Rosal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you know, it's actually not very common of a last name because I get people call me De La Rosa all the time or Del Rosario, and I'm like, nope, that's not it.
Like no, that's not my name.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's actually a lot to do with roses in Spanish. So that's where my mind immediately went is that, oh, it's La Rosa or something like that.
Well, we have a horticulturist here.
Oh, there you go.
So is there like I mean, it's a rose, obviously. Is it like a special rose? Maybe is it a rose that like its name is like an L and an R, maybe? I mean, I don't know.
It could be also the R could be like roja, red.
Oh yeah, it could be red.
Because it's a red rose, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the significance. I see they tagged the building in the next shot.
They do. And the next shot, you just see like Tora with his hands on his hips looking angry and all those guys kind of like staring at him, and you see the rose and then LR underneath it and then the little traffic cone is like right next to them.
I also think the placement of where the rose is very important. Like it's on the same side as Tora's tattoo. And when in the previous episodes when Tora pushed his hair back, they saw it like the fact that the placement was where it was, it like signified to the other like thuglings that like they needed to back off. So I'm wondering if just like where the placement of the tattoo is important when it comes to like Erie Street gangs.
They also shaved their hair so that the tattoo would be visible.
Yeah. Like, because all of them, even the ones who have hair, it's only on top and it's like shaved on the sides.
Mhm.
So that you can see their tattoo.
But another question I have is, it seems, why do you think he kicked the cone? I'm thinking like he was just frustrated with the encounter with Poppy. Like he
Maybe.
And
didn't
he's
get
sexually frustrated. Like
Yeah.
me personally, I think he's got blue balls. Like, and he's just
Man is in his prime, so that's definitely like a possibility. Like, I mean, he's what, he's supposed to be 26, right? So, like, I mean, that's like a man's prime. So that's fair.
I think it's a
I mean, things
combination
were getting steamy,
thing.
and then Poppy
Oh,
ran
sorry.
away, and then, you know, he just got off the phone with her, so.
You can also tell like she's not been so honest with him, you know, with the whole like the phone thing, fiddling with the phone, and like, oh, my phone was on silent, sorry, I couldn't pick up. So he might be frustrated that he feels she's not being so truthful.
Maybe. I mean, she did just kind of like, she just kind of go into his like world a little bit. So maybe he's just like frustrated more that, I don't know, maybe that because she's, you know, being exposed more and more to his world, and it's like, you know, he realizes that she doesn't really belong there.
Yeah.
It could be him being frustrated for dragging her into this, you know, I don't know. You don't like, we don't really get much either, because like in the next panel you see him, he's just like kind of glaring over at the Rose guys, and you know, just with his hands on his hips, and then it just goes to the next day.
Yeah, and I think well, we'll see something else later in the episode that I think maybe a tie back to what happened, something that may have happened with the gang, but I guess we'll discuss it when we
agree.
get to that.
Right. So the next day you just see Giant Goldfish Publishing, so they're, you know, clearly at the office, and you see Jacob and Erdene going, "Good morning, Pops."
Oh gosh, those faces, I love it. Nosy coworkers.
Oh my gosh. And I love like Erdene over there looking like a snack, you know.
Mhm.
Like, is
Someone
it
pointed
just
out her abs are like, she's done some exercise between the 2 days or since the last time we saw them.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think that homegirl does CrossFit, because dang it, she got abs and a booty, and you can see like I don't know, she just like looks muscular, like she's got like good pectoral muscles too. So, but yeah, like I think that the art on Erdene has gotten amazing. Have you guys noticed, like compared to like last season, like so much more, like I
I
guess.
feel like all the art is just like it's she like Lily went on hiatus and just like she lost her mind. Like she upgraded like so much. It's amazing. I mean, it was great last season. Like I love the artwork last season. It was beautiful, but this is out of this world.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
three-dimensional almost.
Yeah.
That's the word that also comes to mind. I don't know if I have a good vocabulary, like a visual vocabulary, but 3D is also what I thought of.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you see Poppy coming into the office with this adorable like little floral dress, and she says, "Morning, guys. What are you two laughing about?" Because you hear them going like you see them going like hee and giggle, and she's like, "Or do I not want to know?" Which is totally fair, totally fair, because those guys, their minds are in the gutter.
I love it. It's such good workplace dynamic. I love this. Like this is like every good set of friends, and they're teasing.
yeah.
It's so good.
This is like straight up like her work wife and work husband. I love it. Like, even if her work husband is definitely not as great as her work wife, because let's be realistic, your work wives are always better. But like, but then you see Jacob just going like, "Oh, nothing much." But Erdene goes, "Cute dress, girl." She goes, "Oh, thanks," you know, and like, dang, do you see, like you can see Erdene's like whole outfit now. It's like skin tight black pants, this like cute, like burgundy, like crop top, like looking adorable. I want to know where she shops, honestly, and where she like what kind of food, like what her diet looks like to get those abs. Like, good night.
Like, I could buy that top. I would never wear that top because of how I look. So yeah.
I've had 3 kids. There's no way I'm wearing that top, but
Confidence.
let's see. And then Jacob goes, just this one photo I took last Saturday at the Fallen, and he's like showing this picture, and you can kind of see it, but then you really go in the next panel, you really see she goes, Erdene says, at one point I swear I heard her call him daddy, and Jacob's going, haha, no shit. And it's just Poppy standing on her tippy toes with her arms around Tora, you know, his shoulders, his back is turned towards her, and she's just like being like almost like a little jetpack, you know.
It's so cute.
It's so cute and so wholesome, and they're sitting here giggling over it like it's like porn they found under their parents' bed. Like, Poppy's like, oh my god, cut it out, you guys.
But Poppy was probably drunk at that point. Like, we could see her inhibitions were gone.
Well, you can see like some like little like squiggle marks, so it looks like she's almost like swinging her legs back and forth.
Jumping up on him.
Maybe, yeah. But it's cute.
And Damien and Brian.
Yeah. Little bodyguards in the front, acting all tough, looking so cute, but acting tough.
Oh my gosh. And then she's like, oh my god, cut it out, you guys. I was just very intoxicated, okay? And what about you and Damien? And she's like just sitting there like, and her like whole face is red and stuff like that. She looks panicked, she's sweating. And then here comes Erdene, just like, we went back to my place and smashed, of course. Duh.
What a mood. Like, she is such a mood. Like, I loved it.
You know,
like, yeah, and
yeah, what about it? Yeah, it totally happened. Exactly what you thought.
Like, yeah, I picked him. I chose him out of the lineup. That's who I wanted.
And then, by the way,
thank you, Lily, for her Patreon.
Exactly.
Gracing us all.
Yeah. And the best part is that she's like, what else would you like to know? She's like, you want to get into the dirty details? I can get into the dirty details.
Tell it. Yes. And by the way, amongst my friend group, I'm the one who has like zero sense of privacy. So I'm like, I like warned them. I'm like, y'all, is this too much TMI? Because I can like go into more detail if you want. Like,
yeah,
no,
I also am like that. I'm like, just like, no, this is what happened. Like, here it is, you know. But
I'm going to talk about my sex life too, except for my closest friends, right? Like,
I'm at home with 3 kids all day. I need some adult conversation, so you know. But then the best part is you get this close up of Erdene. Like, it looks like, I can't tell if she's like, I think it's right by her eyebrows where it says like wiggle wiggle. So it's almost like she's like, you know, wiggling her eyebrow. I don't know if you can see, but she like just doing one of these like numbers right here. But and she goes trade secrets with me with like a little heart, and it's super cute. Like, oh my gosh, like just like the look in her eyes, man. And then but then you see get a really red-faced, panicked Poppy going, in your lewdest dreams.
She's so frazzled. Her hair is all sticking up and stuff. Like, she's so adorable. I love Poppy.
Yes, definitely. Like you can really tell like here that she's inexperienced, you know, because like most people with like a little bit of experience are like, yeah, it's like whatever, you know, I hugged his back, congratulations. But her, it's like, this is a big thing, you know. But then she goes, oh wait, it's
also, I think because she does have blue thoughts, so she like is embarrassed because it's not just a little hugging his back.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Like, homegirl is going like, there's like a whole scenario playing up in her head, so you know.
Also, they don't know that she like was in a corner making out with Tora for half the night.
That's true.
You know, so like she's like, they're giving her like hell over like her jumping on his back. Like, she's probably just like, oh my god, like
they were in a corner making out half the night, and then also the next day she was running from thugs and he decided to like grope her in an alley. So
exactly. Yeah, she was fine.
But
she told him also about his stick.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, yes.
Your stick.
How did I forget about that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Tora saying your stick is hilarious.
Yes. Your
Oh my gosh, yeah. I forgot about that. So yeah, she's probably like, it's it's not a big deal, but like what she's thinking is probably like way above, But then you have Erdene going, "You can't hide from us forever, Pops." And, Jacob giggling, like he going, hee hee over there. She's like scampering off. And she goes, "Ugh, if they think that scandal is coming from me." And then, of course, you get the panel of them making out in the alleyway. And she's like, "Wait till they find out about yesterday." Yep. Being a little bit of a voyeur, making out in front of like a whole group of thugs in the alley. But, but you still see Erdene laughing, and then she goes, "Oh," and then Poppy goes, "Oh yeah, hey Dean, Quincy's supposed to come in today, right? Should I drop him a reminder?" And Erdene looks at her and goes, "Actually, Quincy got in early today." And Poppy goes, "Oh, where is he now?" And Erdene says, "He's in the meeting room with Gil."
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so I will caveat this by saying that Quincy looks like Everest in this thing. Like, he's climbable. And okay, I'm gonna scale back, and also that Gil is beyond shady. He's always been shady, but like he's super shady in like this entire episode. So it like fades to white, and then it's Quincy, and he goes, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry for dropping by unannounced." And you can tell like the way that like it's like bubbled kind of, that like Quincy's trying to be very charming, and like he's probably just being like very his like bubbly self.
Like he doesn't say "I'm so sorry." He's like, "I'm so sorry."
Yeah, like he's laying it on thick, like how he normally does. And I honestly think it's because he wants something, obviously. And so we cut to Quincy, and he looks adorable with his eyes are closed, like he's smiling. And he goes, "I've been wanting to thank you in person for this opportunity, but you're so busy, no one knows when to catch you half the time." So like they're having like obviously it's Quincy's been trying to like have a face-to-face with the person in charge of GDP. So then you have Gil saying, "Oh yeah, sorry, it's these damn business meetings." And then we go back to Quincy, and he's still the little bubbly words, like he's being very, very sweet. He's saying, "Oh, good thing I didn't have hot yoga today, and I decided to try my luck coming in early." So you can tell like he's also kind of like he's avoiding coming in when he normally comes in, just because he wanted to like catch Gil. Like he needed to speak with him. Like he wants to meet with this guy. And he goes, "Or I never have bumped into you." Like, so it's just like, I feel like he's kind of like noticed like, hey, every time I maybe come in and you're supposed to be here, you're not here. And you're in charge of this place. I need to meet you. Because he is his father's son. Yeah.
And he totally does hot yoga. Like, of course he does hot yoga.
Oh, of course he does. I would watch him do hot yoga. Like,
I actually have done hot yoga, and it's mostly women. There was one guy in the class, and yes, let's just say sometimes I didn't deliberately sit next to him, but sometimes I was like, well, if I'm next to you, I'm gonna look. Anyway.
So then you have like Gil also looks like he's in the next panel. Gil looks like he's also like being like, I don't want to say sickeningly sweet, but like he looks I've never seen this face on Gil before. Like the little piece, like the smile, like this. I've never seen it. Go ahead.
When I used to work in an office, I was I did a secretarial type job, and I used to call it my my Malibu Barbie face and voice, like it was Tour Guide Barbie from Toy Story. Do you guys remember that one? It's like Toy Story 2, where she's like, "Oh, Tour Guide Barbie," and like she has like this like voice, and it was like definite customer service voice. I feel like that's like Gil's like customer service face, like, "Oh yeah, here you got me,"
I feel like that's what they're kind of both doing to each other. Like I feel like they're having like this super sweet conversation like on one level, but underneath it like neither one of them is happy about it.
And they are so fake, so fake, because everybody knows that customer service voice is not your real voice. So
then we have Gil, and he goes, "Looks like the early bird catches the worm for real, haha." And like he's, like I said, he's got this smile on his face that looks like it's not genuine. And then on the next panel, we have Gil again. He goes, but it's not a problem. I only wish I had known earlier. I would have put on a nicer suit or something. Haha. And then you have Quincy go, oh, please, Gil, your outfit is perfect. Like, I love Quincy. But then in the same panel, like the bubbles stop around Quincy's words. Like it's not as bubbly. And then it goes, now, I believe this is the final signature needed from you, just a formality type document. So like you can tell like he's stopped being sweet and like he's just like, I need you to sign this. Like he's probably the only one in the office who hasn't signed whatever this document is. And then we cut back to Quincy again, and he goes, we could get Pops in here to check that the documents are in order. And again, there's no bubbles. So this is Quincy, like
This is boss man Quincy.
yeah, this is boss man Quincy.
So the colors have changed. Before that, it was like purpley and more warm, and now it's cold and it's more green toned. Yeah. Serious.
Like, this is Quincy being his father's son, in my opinion. Like this is him being not as harsh as how Vincent is, but like, I mean, as someone who's grown up in that environment and who knows how to talk to people when it comes to like business and like get what they want, this is Quincy getting what he wants.
Mhm.
Why is Quincy having to track down Gil to sign this paperwork that like
Well,
like
I
a
feel
huge
like
client for them?
yeah,
Right.
like it's obvious he hasn't wanted to sign whatever it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It
I
says
think
if you look up in the panel where Quincy's all like extra cute, it says it's like the giant goldfish publishing, and then it says basically like it's their agreement, I think, that he's signing. So it's their paperwork.
It does say of agreement. Yeah, like you can't see the other words, but you pretty well see like agreement in there.
Yeah.
With his
Well, I
pectoral
think-
cleavage.
Yeah, I think once we get through like the episode, we can talk about what we think is going on in that giant goldfish.
Yeah. So all right, so we Quincy's in his boss mode, and he says that he could get Poppy in there to like go over the agreement or whatever, the documents, and then Gil says no, that's fine, she's busy enough with other tasks. And then Quincy goes,
That's like
indeed,
kind of avoidance over there.
yeah. And then Quincy goes, indeed, a very hard worker, my little Miss Editor, and he has like a little heart. Like he really does love Poppy. It's adorable. But you can tell like he's sick of Gil shit right now. So then Gil goes, let's see now, and he still has this fake smile, and he's
With those
he's got a
awful
pen. Yeah, he's got his little fake customer service voice and his fake little smile on, and you see him pause like to sign whatever this document is. And then he like glances up at Quincy, and this is like a death stare that he's giving Quincy right now. Like it's the mask has completely fallen. Like there's no him trying to be sweet at all. And he looks up at Quincy and he glances at Quincy, and Quincy is giving him the look. The look. First of all, he looks hot. Like he looks good. But still, this look.
The man has got like, okay, so there's this like guy that I really love in K-pop. His name is his like stage name is BM, but it stands for like Big Matthew. He's huge, but he started what is called the Big Titty Gang for dudes, and it's just guys with giant pecs. And Quincy right here looks like a member of the Big Titty Gang. Like
Quincy's shirt looks like he got it at Baby Gap. Like it is tight. It's tight.
He's
Like,
got, like Quincy might be people might say a lot of things about Quincy and his attitude and like how he is and stuff like that, but Quincy built. So like Tora's not the only one using the gym.
He's jacked. Quincy like hoisted Tora up 3 flights of steps after complaining that he couldn't get him into the car. Like Quincy knows what he does. Like he knows how to put on an act. This face right here, after like Gil glanced at him and gave him that dirty look, to me, this is Quincy. Like Quincy is like that wonderful, bubbly personality. Like that's mostly who he is. But underneath that, the man has a solid like steel core that probably is very unbending. when it comes
say-
to like him getting what he wants.
I was honestly a little bit surprised to see this. So not entirely surprised, because we got a glimpse of this at the club last season where he told the thuglets, like, you better listen to me, or whatever he said. And that was the first time we really saw that kind of like toughness from him. But I was so thrilled to see this because, I mean, a very controversial person, basically. Lenny, there's basically this concept of like people, like when a person who has no tough core is not someone that you respect. It's not somebody that you can, they're cute and they're adorable, but you're not going to look up to them. And when Quincy shows us that toughness inside of him, suddenly, like, I don't know about you, and my respect for him was like, ooh, I'm like, okay, I can fear you, when a person has the ability to have, like, they show you that they have power, suddenly you're like, okay, I'm not with a little teddy bear anymore. And
it's always like the scariest though when the happy nice people get angry. Like it's always scariest, like, because you have somebody that's always like, oh, sunshine, flowers, rainbows, all sorts of stuff, and all of a sudden they're giving you a death stare that could literally murder you. So that's what when I think of Quincy, that's what I think of. It's like he's like the nice guy, but don't push him off the edge or he can murder you.
I think
Literally.
of Quincy as like like the saying of an iron fist and a velvet glove.
Yeah.
Like to me that's Quincy. Like he knows he can get a lot with honey, but the man will like kick the shit out of you if he needs to.
Oh yeah.
Or send whoever, because he doesn't like blood really. Like send someone. Like he does know how to get things done. It's just not his preference to do things that way.
Right.
So go ahead, Mindy.
Yeah, that's what interests me with, like, because we up till now we thought that okay, Vincent has relegated Quincy to the side in terms of clan stuff because he feels he's too soft, and we discussed whether we thought that was like a strategy that Quincy did on purpose because he didn't want to be involved in the clan stuff, so he over exaggerated his feminine soft like personality. So I'm really, really curious if Quincy is going to have the guts to be a crucial part of the story and help the clan go down, disintegrate, take over the clan and make it better, like help Tora and Poppy get out of it. Like the fact that we see him have a strong side gives me a lot more faith that he's going to be able to do something rather than be unable to do anything.
Yeah. I think he definitely will. Like I've always loved Quincy's character because I've always, from the minute that I saw him, because the first introduction to him was when he drove up in that like brand new yellow car or whatever, and I was like, who is this? And then you see him like have Tora beat up the editor, and then you see him barfing in the parking garage, and I was just like, this is someone who's very good at hiding their like intentions. Like they're very good at masking who they are. So every time I've seen Quincy, I'm just like, is this who you really are? Like, what are you hiding? And literally, like, I feel like his effeminate personality is, while being a part of him, I think it's like you said, it's exaggerated. Like he does it on purpose.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna keep going. So Quincy's giving him this look, right? And then it's the boss look. Like he looks like his dad's son in this panel. And then you see Gil sweating now, and he goes back to his like customer service like smile, and he goes, here goes nothing, and then he signs whatever this document is. And then he goes, they're all done. That should be the last, but I'll check again with Poppy. Thank you so much again for joining us, Mr. Nyoko. And then I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his last name. I'm probably butchering it. And he goes, Quincy goes, my pleasure. And honestly, just Quincy will do. And then Gil goes, yes, sorry, I keep forgetting that. And you can see that the meeting is pretty much done. And then Gil's handing back the document to Quincy. He goes, guess I'm not used to being around big name celebrity authors like you. And then Quincy says, you could say I'm still a greenhorn in the industry, embarrassing. Oh no, that's Gil. He says, you could say I'm still a greenhorn in the industry, embarrassingly enough. And then Quincy says, please don't say that. Also his forearm while he's taking this document is, thank you, Lily. And then we get another amazing shot of Quincy. Where he's just,
How can he be
I'm
so
sorry. please just like ignore my rampaging lust
Annoying.
for this 2D character. And then so Quincy's just standing there. He's just like, well, everyone needs to start somewhere, Gil. And he looks great. And again, the shirt looks like he bought it at Baby Gap. Like the muscles are rippling, the vest is tight, the pants look great. Like, I'm telling you, like, seriously, Vincent Baughman can run a modeling agency for men, like with all of the like eye candy that he has.
Agreed.
So then, did anyone want to comment on this? I mean, I'm just lusting, like, this, no? Okay,
We're
so.
just same thing. Lily is drawing this to torment us.
So then Quincy kind of gives
that. We need SG and Quincy ASAP. I'm sorry. Okay, this has to happen.
Yes. So Quincy gives like a side eye and he's like, even capable young entrepreneurs like yourself. And then he leaves. And
oh my God, that phrase, that side eye that he's giving him when he calls him a capable young entrepreneur. Oh my gosh. I was not so perceptive the first time I read this, but after reading everyone's comments, I was like, oh my gosh, Quincy is suspicious of him. It's like,
Also, I'm just gonna add that his jaw could cut diamonds in this panel. Like, holy crap, Lily.
Ivan's to propose to all of us. Just saying.
So I think this entire interaction, I loved it. Like it shows how shady Gil is, because it's just like we've all kind of like had an idea that he's shady, you know, with the whole notebook thing and the way he kind of like asked Poppy about it, like indirectly, but you could have I feel like you could kind of like give him a pass on that, like if you know what's inside of it, or even though we don't know what's inside of it, but if it's like shady stuff inside of it, you can kind of give him a pass for him not being really direct. But this, like you're avoiding a big name, like a huge name author. You don't want to sign whatever document this is. And then you're being completely and utterly fake. And then like when you don't realize he's looking, you give him a death glare and then try to go back to like, you know, glossing it over and stuff. Like this part right here for me was just like, he's a skis ball. Like and then it gets worse. But like this right here, like it like sensors are just like, he's up to something.
Yeah, I also like noticed just like how dark it is in the background. Like the light is only really shining on Quincy. Have you noticed?
Yeah. I think whatever this document is, it's gonna come back, like whatever Gil is up to. And I know you said we're gonna talk about it later, but whatever this document is, like the fact that it's framed, like when Gil is giving it back to Quincy, the way that it is, even though we don't know what the document is, I feel like this is gonna come into play and be important later on.
Yep. So am I doing this part? I forgot. Jen, you want to do the last part?
Yeah, you're doing this part, yep.
Okay. So Quincy walks out of the office, clicks the door, and Gil is left alone in his office. And then we have a ba-dump. Gil has just been freaked out. Thank you. We love it. Thank you, Quincy.
Also, as Quincy, no, just really quick, as Quincy is like walking out, it's only light around Quincy and everything else, including like the back where Gil is coming from, is in the shadows. So also maybe Lily trying to say it like he's shady. Like,
yeah,
just say it.
Oh. So he's ba-dumping. We have a view of him at his chair. He is like, his eyes are wide open. He's ba-dump, ba-dump, ba-dump. And he's like, thinks, damn it. And then he remembers back to when he was talking to Poppy when she was about to go meet Mr. Lamb. He's like, we're counting on you, Wonder Girl. No guts, no glory. And she's like, aye, Captain. He says, I should never have agreed to that effing pitch. And he stands up and he's like, I did some background checks on QB Nyoko when Poppy submitted her proposal. But apart from the usual media coverage, nothing significant came up. Just a blank white slate. And he's looking out the door where he just left. So now I don't know who the hell he really is, apart from his public identity. And we have that intimidating face of Quincy. But he's someone I need to be careful around. So yeah, so Gil realizes that. Doesn't know who he is, but he knows there's something up. And he sees them outside, where Quincy goes back to his like cutesy personality. Guess he's officially on the team now. Congratulations. And he looks and he has this very like contemplative, suspicious look where he's just looking at the scene of Quincy and Poppy and Erdene. And he then looks at Poppy. He's like, this is all your fault. And I'm like, excuse me, Gil? What? She just signed this amazing celebrity author and you're like, this is all your fault? What is up with you? Why don't you want an actual good author on your in your office. And he has this
Chin
very
hairs.
Fish. So
It's the chin hairs.
chin hairs are evil.
They're evil.
they seem to have multiplied also, by the way. Oh, and he's just looking out again with that angry look. And he thinks, to think I hired you when no one else would, with your shitty little small town college degree, give you a nice job with a fancy title so you can pretend you're living a meaningful life in this city. And this is how you repay me, huh? You dumb little bitch. I'm like,
I lost my shit. The nerve, like the audacity, the unmitigated audacity of this man. How dare you speak
If
about
men have
Poppy like
nothing
that?
else, they have the audacity. So there's that.
Yes,
I
sir.
was in shock. It's like we like you said, Tina, we're like before that Gil was like maybe shady, maybe not, but like, you know, understandable, not sure. After this, it's like, you're in the trash can, Gil, the trash can. How
Well,
dare you?
How shady is it that she signed this big name author that everybody knows, and he is calling her a bitch and saying it's all your fault? Like, come on. If you own a publishing company and you wanted to succeed, this is like the best case scenario for you.
If you want your,
so he wanted her to fail.
If you want your company to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, does he not want Giant Goldfish Publishing to succeed? Because this would be huge for any publishing company.
Mhm.
And he's pissed.
You know, like back when we heard that Poppy earlier was saying, oh, Gil was the only one who wanted to hire me and nobody else wanted to hire me. So we were all like, we weren't sure if that was significant. We were like, well, maybe it's just Poppy being, you know, self-doubting and it's part of her like journey of like self-confidence. But now it's like, no. This was plot. Where he's like, I hired you when no one else would, gave you a fancy title so you can pretend you're living a meaningful life in the city, which I think we can have some theories about that, but at the end of the episode. But it seems like he hired her because he didn't expect her to succeed.
Yeah.
She proved him wrong.
Yeah. So yeah, you can take it over, Jen.
All right. So after that, we have Poppy sitting in the office doing her thing, and she has a badump. So I think Poppy has some spidey senses, and she kind of looks straight, and then she looks to where Gil was standing, but Gil is no longer there. So she definitely knows something's going on. Some plants there on the desk, I noticed those. And then we kind of get a more zoomed in on kind of towards where Gil was. He's not there. Poppy kind of looking over the office where Gil is no longer standing. Erdene is in the background listening to some tunes, it looks like. And then Poppy's kind of confused, like kind of one of those, I swear I saw something over there. What was that? Kind of looks. And then we see Gil behind the closed door, looking very nervous.
It looks like he's hiding too.
Yeah. and the lighting again. So kind of.
He's like encased in shadows right now.
Mm-hmm. And then we have a little bit more light topic here. So Poppy is clicking away at the computer, doing her work. Clack, clack, clack. You could tell she's kind of getting distracted, and she says, God, why aren't these figures tabulating correctly? Which I think is going to be important. I think, you know, Lily then.
We all are like doing these significant nods on the screen at the same time.
And then Lily is genius at her distraction tactics. So she glances towards the door next to Jacob, where somebody might be coming in, and she thinks to herself, well, I guess he's still asleep. I put on a nice floral dress today too. And then she thinks back to that amazing panel of Tora holding her face with a cigarette in his hand. And she has a total embarrassed face and is, you know, totally flustered, basically. And then she says,
that drool I see.
What's that?
That drool I see coming out of her mouth.
Maybe
right. She's sweating, yes, shaking her head. And then she says,
Let's be
where's
real.
your mind? What's that?
So let's be real though, that panel was hot.
Oh, So
No,
good.
he's funny.
Then she says, "Where's your mind wandering off to, Pop?" Clack, 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 clack. "Focus, darn it." Clack. She keeps trying to work. Looking towards the door again. Oh, this is Gil's door, I believe. So we look towards Gil's door. He's in his office. He's staring out the window. And then he looks down to the street. I looked at these multiple times. I don't know if you all have any feedback. Obviously, we kind of see where it goes to eventually, but I don't know if there's anything that we're to see in these view of just him being obviously ultra paranoid basically and looking around. You see beep beep, you see some cars. What's that, Tina?
No, I think he's just being paranoid because
Yeah, he's just looking around. He's looking up and down the street. He's looking around. He stares out the window, clatter, and then you can see he pulls the blinds down. Clatter, 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 clatter. So super uber paranoid man. And then you see the blinds are closed into his office. And then we go down to the street level and we get a glimpse of that red car. And then we zoom into the red car and we see Quince and Tora sitting in the car. Tora is smoking, which we know means he is nervous and agitated. And Quince says, "So," and then he tosses the agreement, which I don't think we can see much more. Yeah, it does say CEO, I guess, under Gil's name, signature, excuse me. And he tosses it on the dashboard. And then we get a up close picture of Tora out the window, and we see his hand bandaged. So yes, we talked about that earlier, and I'm with Mindy. I think that this is his him getting into a little scuffle with the Rose guys after he kicked the cone at them. Probably not meaning to kick it that way, but then did, and then he's like, "Let's fight."
Oh, yeah.
like you kicked the cone at me and now you're kicking my ass. Like
But he doesn't look too bad and scuffed up considering.
They probably realized very quickly wrong person to start up with.
And then I assume it's Quincy saying, "What should we do now?" And that is it.
Dun, dun, dun.
I just say like how like upset Quincy looks in these like last panels. Like
Yeah, they
he's
both
looking
do.
at this agreement and like he looks so like he looks disgusted kind of. Like in that first one, like before he like flips it, he looks like he's looking it over and he's just like, ugh. Like it's just such a I feel like if Poppy wasn't gonna be his editor and if he hadn't already agreed, like given his like gentleman's agreement to do this, he would have like ripped this thing up.
He looks, yeah, like annoyed.
Yeah, like to me, it's almost like, to me, what I got from him the most was kind of like, oh, this. It almost like he has something else in mind. You know what I mean? Like he signed that with something else in mind. Like he didn't sign it just like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna go hang out. Like to me, it's like, it's almost like a part of a plan. You know what I mean? Like just the way he looks at it.
It's like he knows something's up.
Oh yeah.
Quincy's not the type, especially after what happened with his last publishing company. I sincerely doubt that he would, even if he already gave an agreement, that he would just go in and sign with someone without knowing every little detail about like.
So does that mean that he was acting at that restaurant scene and he'd already done his research before he scribbled away his signature and then is like, oh my God, what did I sign?
I actually think in that instance, like he was just, I think he did not think things through. Because remember, like in that restaurant scene, he was like reading through Poppy's agreement. He was like, what the hell did I just do? But I think after he realized what he did, like he kind of did his due diligence and started going through everything, which is why I think he got really, really annoyed that he wasn't able to pin down Gil. Because he's just like, he probably wanted to speak with him just to like, maybe like, I guess test the temperature maybe. And he's just like, this guy's fucking shady, man. Like he's just so, he's off.
Because they brought it up, yeah, last season, you know, like, when am I going to meet Gil? When is that going to happen? You know, so.
Do you think he knows something specific about Gil, or he's just suspicious? Like he doesn't actually know anything yet?
I think he might just.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think he's suspicious.
Yeah, same. I feel like he's like really suspicious, like that something's just not adding up for him there, because Quincy's not dumb.
I feel like that, except that he says, so what are we going to do? So it makes me sound like they know something, but I don't know. That's the reason they say that.
Or it could be like, oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I could see it either way, I guess. With that
Yeah, I
sort
could
of-
see it. Or like him being like, all right, what are we gonna do about me being suspicious about this guy? Because I mean, he's talking to Tora, who's basically his fixer, you know, and Tora's not just, he might look like man meat, but he's not just muscle. He's really, really smart.
So now, speaking of smart, what are y'all's theories about giant goldfish and Gil and what his plans are?
So-
Why?
A lot of people in the group were like, oh, Poppy's mom had him hire her. And I'm like, no, that wasn't like something I thought. I do feel like it's a money laundering front. Like that seemed the most plausible explanation for me, is that, oh, this is just a front. Like this place shady, you know?
That's kind of interesting though with Erdene, because who is Erdene's dad again? Isn't he somebody that's kind of a bigwig?
Yeah, we don't know exactly what, but she said her dad is like friends with all these CEOs or whatever. But
Yeah.
Isn't he like an assistant or something for like a CEO? Like he's
I have to go back and read it. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
Um,
like,
I think he's doing fraudulent activities. Like he's either like, it's either a money laundering front for like another shady business, or like maybe like another clan, or it's like it's himself. Like he's maybe like embezzling money, or maybe he did not seem happy to have Quincy, because if you're embezzling money and you land a big fish, that's just more money for you. Like look at like Madoff, you know, like he wanted more people that had more money because he was able to embezzle more. So to me, it seems like maybe like he wants Giant Goldfish Publishing to fail. Like he wants it to go bankrupt. Maybe it's like to collect insurance money, or maybe he put it up for collateral and he owes people money. And like if it fails, like he'll be like, well, I don't have a company anymore, so like whatever. Because I mean, the fact that he said that he hired Poppy, and he hired her specifically because she was from like a no-name country college, and she was like he thought she was a country bumpkin that wasn't going to do well, and he's like upset that she's excelling and doing great. It makes me think that like he wanted Giant Goldfish Publishing to like fail.
Yeah.
No, he definitely seems upset from Poppy's success. So
Which makes
that.
zero
Sorry,
sense.
go ahead.
It just makes zero sense that he would want this to fail. You know what I mean? So obviously there's got to be something shady going on.
And the line that Poppy says these tables aren't adding up. Yeah, that's a dead clue for us.
He's doing something with money that he's not supposed to be doing.
And Emily had the greatest joke. She admits it's a dad joke. She said she's always said, Gil, giant goldfish, there's something fishy going on.
I read that too, and I was a genius. And somebody also said, Elizabeth M on Patreon said, shady ass chin hairs, which just made me die laughing. So
they are so shady.
The chin hairs of evil.
They're evil. I'm pretty sure they talk to him in his sleep. Terrible advice.
Think about it, like all these Disney villains like normally have some sort of facial hair thing going on. Like I'm thinking like Jafar with his like little curly like goatee and stuff like that.
They have awkward facial hair. They don't have like nice facial hair.
Was it like the guy from Incredibles? Didn't he like have like a red mullet going on?
He had like a little like baby curl. Like no, it was like the thing. It was like a little It was like
some sort of like weird hair going on with all these villains. I mean, Gil's got the chin hair and like the weird ponytail. So I mean,
And you get with like the comb over with like two hairs. He's not a villain, but he's supposed to be like a laughable figure.
yeah. Like,
Gil pissed me off this episode. Like he was
You
just
and me.
he was just like a ball of just like in the hall of don't. Like this is where this guy resides. Like he was so shady, and then like he really just showed his true colors. I mean, at least to us, because I mean he's always been on that fine line of is he or isn't he, you know?
Do we think like that Tora thinks he has the notebook because like Poppy doesn't have it? It wasn't in the office when he checked the office. So like, is he suspect of that?
I don't
Well-
know if he's aware that Gil came in, like his flight was right before they checked the office. Like that he gets back in the office then.
Mhm.
I do think you're right that at some point Tora is going to try to trace the notebook and figure out where it went. And he might ask Poppy some questions about like, hey, do you remember?
Well, I will say somebody like in the Fast Pass group was talking about like, oh, look in the background of Gil's office, and we see like he does have like this kind of cool like bookends. It just says book, right? I don't know if you look through it, you'll see, you know, that he has, you know, these books with this, it just says book as the bookends. And at one point here, you can kind of see it like right here.
Oh, okay. That's what we're
The
looking
book on the end farthest away from us is like really slim and dark. You can see that it's in the panel where he's like saying, guess I'm not used to being around big name celebrity authors like you. And actually in the panel before that, if you look in the corner to where it is, like right there, you notice that the one furthest away from him, the book there is really thin and dark colored, kind of like that notebook. So maybe it's people just being like really suspicious, maybe, you know, but I mean, it might actually be something.
I honestly don't think Tora's gonna realize that Gil has the notebook until Gil tries to extort like someone that he has no business extorting with that notebook. Like if he's like for whatever reason like short on cash, or if like he needs, or if he's just greedy, that notebook is gonna be a source of money. Like look at the thugs from the beginning of this season. They sold Goliath's DVD, and like they're over here wearing like velour suits. You know what I mean? Like they're like pimped out or whatever. So like that the cash cow that is that notebook and whatever information that's in there, he's probably he's gonna try to like cash in on that at one point, and he's gonna end up probably dead for yeah, like for trying to even dare.
Yeah.
Like him
And
are
he's probably
so
gonna try to
arrogant.
he'll probably try to save his skin by saying like it's not mine, it's Poppy's. You know what I mean?
Ooh boy.
He would be the type to throw someone under the bus.
Yeah. He'd be driving the bus.
Probably.
Shove the driver out of the way and take over.
Like so I don't know, like this popular thing in like anime and manga is that, you know, like people getting hit by a truck, they call them truck.
I love the Sekiziki. Like I love those mangas. Like they're so funny.
Yeah. So Gil is truck. Like
truck. He is the truck. This I mean I love this episode. And Erdene in this episode, like her little like aside, like with Damien, like Damien's gonna be so sore on Monday. Poor him. Because I'm pretty sure she worked him out. Like she's like it was a thing.
She did
Like,
climb
I loved it.
Everest.
Yeah.
Like let's just say that she made that mountain her bitch. So
And isn't it Monday? So isn't this training day?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Poor him. Poor them.
that's why Tora is in all that like dark clothes with a hat and stuff like that, not in his normal thing. He had an early morning workout. I see.
Ducklings cry.
This is great. This really is getting the ball rolling and starting the action and the mystery and the drama all again. And this is great. I'm excited.
It is. I am dying for Friday. Like,
Well, it's Sunday night, so there's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Thanks.
I know. I read too fast is a problem.
Well, you just read it another 10 times. What's the problem?
I don't want to start the whole series over again. You know, by the time Friday rolls around, I'll have caught up.
I love that it kind of ended with Poppy's, like Poppy is completely unaware and like she's still like in like La La Land, like romance land. Because at the end of the day, MPL is like a romance, and like it is kind of like moving like her story along, like and how she's feeling, because like she's still kind of like she runs when like she gets like flustered and stuff. So like I'm happy like she's like actively like thinking about Tora and like, you know, she's dressing up for him. It's cute. She's wearing that cute little dress. And I just love the like plot movement with like all the mystery and stuff. This episode was great.
Yeah, just like the whole like do you guys watch Bailey Sarian and her murder and makeup?
Yes. Oh my
Yeah,
God, I love that.
she goes, it's suspicious. I could hear her in my head this whole time with Gil going, like her going, well, Gil's a little suspicious, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so like I feel like Gil as a character might belong on a Bailey Sarian murder and makeup a little bit. He is definitely shady. And like literally, like Lily made everything around him shady. Like
Individuals are working to tell the story.
This was a great episode. Like the dynamics of the colors and the shading and how everything changed, and also like just the bubbling.
Glass.
And that was a good observation. I didn't notice it, Tina, until you pointed it out. That like Quincy went being like bubbly was literally bubbly.
He was being bubbly, you know? And then like it just was like he was not. Like he's like, so anyways, sign this before like you eat my size 13 loafers or whatever. Like it's just
I loved it though, because it went from like, oh, bubbly, playful. Okay, let's get down to business. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
and like I'm sorry, but like her her graphics quality and like her art style, like it's still the same art style, but like it's amazing this season. Like
I feel like the details really came out this season. Like, cause you can even see like where you're like looking in the background, and you see like there's like little music notes around Erdene. You know, you really didn't have to like. I mean, you have to like really like scroll in to see that. You know. So I like literally every detail is in there in the background. Like if there's like one thing that I can tell people that to watch out for this season, it's that look at the background, because there are like little Easter eggs all over the place there. Like even
Actually, sorry.
I was gonna say even the buildings, like they seem to have wear. You know what I mean?
I was impressed. I noticed like that I know Lily probably I guess keeps track of it, but like I'm not so good at spatial stuff. But I noticed like when Gil was looking out the window, I was like, oh, that's the cafe. That's like, oh, it's by the water.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that looks familiar. So like she's clearly been keeping track of like the situational stuff.
I do have a question. Do you think someone is after Gil though? Like those last panels, like when he was like looking, I mean, you pointed it out, like I just thought he was looking outside the window, but then like he does, it's 2 panels of him closing the window. Like it's him looking out, like looking, well, he's suspicious anyways, looking like himself. And then like the clatter, 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 and then the obviously closed window. So like, do you think like the reason why he was looking out was because like maybe he owes somebody money and like he's like on the lookout to like see that they're not outside or whatever?
So one thing I also want to point out is that he actually said in an earlier episode when he came back from his business trip last season that he forgot about his wedding anniversary. I don't know if everybody remembers that. Yeah. We have not heard anything else about his wife, and I'm actually looking through the panels because he's not like, because there is one of him like you can see his hands kind of like, and they're like in little fists. He's not wearing a wedding ring. I mean, not all guys do, but I mean, like that. I just thought that's one thing. It's where he's like his heart is like racing and stuff like that. You don't see like, because you can see his left hand, because like, you know, here's his right hand that he was signing with, and here's his left hand. He's not wearing a wedding ring. What are you hiding, Gil? Like
he's just a ball of confusion. Like he's up to something. He's shady. He's the color gray. Like he is the shadiest of colors.
Like if he had a theme song, it would be Suspicious Minds by Elvis Presley, because like seriously, there is I don't know what it is. I do think it has something to do with money because, you know, Poppy saying these figures aren't tabulating correctly, like, is definitely, but I don't know what, because even if you weren't, like, as you pointed out earlier, like, if you were embezzling, you'd want more money to be coming in so you can embezzle more. So, but what is it? Like, I don't know.
Anyway, to end the episode off, I totally forgot to ask you before, but I started doing bonus questions where like the content is just for patrons. So it's like one question or a couple questions. And so are you guys up for it? Just another like minute or so to answer that bonus question. Okay, so I'll ask the question in this episode and I'll end the recording. Kind of like a teaser, and then we'll do the answer in the next, you know, you don't have to do anything. I'm just pressing a button. The answer will be for the patrons. Okay, so the question is, if you had to take Quincy with you for one specific scenario, what would you take him with you for? Okay, stop the recording, and the answer will be in the bonus video.